Thank you. Thank you very much, Les Cloncola. And first of all, I will be supporting Deputy Fitzmaurice's amendment where he's saying that 8 weeks or 60 days would be a sufficient time for a decision on a felling licence, and I think that's laudable. I don't know if and deserves praise. I don't know if that includes that there should be 5 weeks allowed for the appellant to make the appeal or a submission, because I think that should be part of it as well, the very same as a planning application for a house or for the biggest commercial venture ever thought of. They're the rules that the local authorities insist on, and I think they have worked fine in thousands and maybe millions of applications. I have to say to Deputy Boyd Barrett, I respect you an awful lot. You do an awful lot of talking and an awful lot of good work. But you have actually gone off the rails this evening. You've gone off the track. And I honestly say to you that it's a good job that you were elected here and that you were salary out of Dáil Éireann, because if you didn't, you wouldn't make a living out of Forestry anyway. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that, because you just don't know what you're talking about. Because in the first place, the forests that we are talking about, many of them are at their third cutting down. They have been planted back in the late 40s and early 50s. They were cut down 30 years after that, and they were cut down 25 or 30 years after that again, because they grow quicker the second time, because there's more vegetation, and it's a recognised fact that they grow quicker the second time and even the third time. So I can even point out to one forestry in Kilgarvan that it's at its third stage, and there's one little patch of it cut. My father actually worked there in the early 50s with a spade and a shovel, and that's where he learned to drive a bulldozer as well, by the way. But anyway, these had no problem the first 2 rounds in getting the felling licence. It is only at this stage, and going back about 2 years, that these blackguards started appealing the applications for felling licence. And I believe that when a person, a landowner, or whether it was Creator or whatever, when they planted their forestry and got a grant to plant it, they should have a fair presumption that they would be allowed to cut it down. And it is very wrong of anyone, here, there, or anywhere, to suggest that those plantations that we are talking about would be, that the people that own them would be denied the right to cut them down. There's other natural trees and other trees in different places, a different story altogether. But these were plantations that first of all had to be planted. They had to be finished in order to get the grant. And then to think that those poor people are into these companies or whatever, they all have to pay their way. There's no one here or anywhere going, you suggested giving the landowners funding while they're held up. Who's going to do that? This government has money to pay for home help. And to give elderly people the right to stay in their home as long as that's possible. So, and I suppose you don't know, Deputy Barrett, that if you had a place planted and you got a felling licence and cut it down, you can't reclaim the land, you know. You can't reclaim the land and try to make it arable, because if you wanted to, the only way you can do that is to plant another place of equal size. Then rules are there, Deputy Barrett. You need have no fear in the world about that.
Deputy, I'm going to let you continue, but it's on the amendment in relation to the time frame for the committee to give their decision. That's what we're speaking to now. We're not at second, we're not, just, it's for everybody. We're not at second stage, we're at committee stage, and so just be relevant to the amendment.
I will, but I'm just addressing what the hero before me came out with, and I want to educate him so that he won't delay us any further with any other Ramesh, because these are the facts of it. And the people that planted the land in the first place, I don't think they should have any need to apply for a felling licence, because they planted it with the idea of cutting it down and sell it. And here we are now at a stage that there's hauliers, there's harvesters, there's forwarders, and there's sawmills practically in a standstill, and we're going to, and if we don't act now and listen to these amendments that are being put forward, and I'm appealing to the Minister to listen to what we're saying here, because it's relevant and it's proper and right. We're doing nothing wrong, or we wouldn't be going to this trouble to help these people with these amendments if we weren't meaning well, and we do mean well. And Deputy Fitzmaurice and both ourselves in the Rural Independent Group, we mean well, and we want this bill to go through, and we want the bill to make sense, and that will have substance, and that will mean something to the people that are looking for the felling licence. Thank you very much, Les.